Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial. Welcome to another week in the stock market, and it is earnings season. I am excited about it because the Q3 earnings are, generally speaking, some of the more important earnings for the year. We see a lot of movement during this time, and I am super pumped to be making some plays and working with all of you. What I'm going to be looking for this week is largely going to be surrounding some of the big financial firms. And I know that every single week we always talk about the economic indicators. And I think that this week we're going to see some of those economic indicators being played out largely by the financial institutions such as Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo this week. That being said, as you can see from what we have here on the screen, there are not a lot of economic indicators or a lot of economic events that are going to be going on this week, aside from our important ones this Thursday, which are the jobless claims. And you can see that on the initial claims, as well as the continuing claims, we're still seeing some moves there. However, what we're seeing is that there has not been this continued rapid drop, despite the fact we're seeing that on the unemployment rate side. So what we need to do is see some growth here, and I think a lot of that is going to be coming from retail, restaurant, and hospitality. So we're going to need to see those moves there. But that's all I really want to focus on this week for the economic indicators. We do have a lot of import-export information coming out on Thursday. I don't think that's going to be the focus this month, as we are heading directly back into the election. So I want to be focused on some of the big earnings plays because that's where we're really going to be moving. So that being said, if we look at the earnings, the ones that we're especially going to be looking at is on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. With Tuesday, we're getting led off. You can see J&J. I don't anticipate playing this stock. They're not a big mover, so it may be a good idea to play off. If you have shares, do a covered call, take advantage of some of the volatility or some of the earnings run-up that occurs with J&J. Again, as someone who doesn't have those shares, I'm not going to be able to make that move. JP Morgan, this is a good mover, and I think that my approach is probably going to be the same for all of the banks because Wells Fargo and Bank of America play very similar in terms of the price point, in terms of the options plays. I may make a move there, although if JP Morgan comes out and says something good, then I may try and play something on the call side there because they can move a little bit more. But all the banks should be something similar to that approach, so I may be making that move there. The other stock that I want to highlight here is Fastener. This is a company that we haven't talked about a lot on this company or on this channel, and I think that we can actually make a move here. And I just want to highlight just some of the moves that the company's made over the course of the past few months where they have been on that uptick. And I think what we should do is potentially play like a $50 end of the week call by the end of this week, ride the run up and sell it out. But again, we need to see what's going on, but I think there may be a move there. On Tuesday, or rather Wednesday, I do want to highlight there's UNH. That may be important for just the healthcare sector as a whole. As you can see, over the past 6 months, we have seen some awesome growth there, and that's one of the reasons why I may not be playing it, because we've seen this huge spike up over the course of the past month. That means this stock is pretty expensive, and it traditionally hasn't been a big mover, although we see a big move now, so I don't know if I'm going to be playing that. However, you also see here we've got Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, USB, PNC, a lot of financials this week, and I like that. I want to see those. I don't think they're going to be huge movers, but again, a 2% move on a stock like Bank of America could be a big deal. So I am going to be watching the financials. I don't think we're going to see as big a hit from a loss side as people have been expecting. And if that's the case, then some of that money could translate into earnings. However, you need to remember that there are no dividends right now. And the other thing, or rather, there are no increased dividends and no stock buybacks until at least the end of the year. On Thursday, TSM, this is one that I'm going to be looking at. We saw Marvell announce earnings last week, and they did very well. They raised their end of the year forecast, and we've seen a lot of moves in the semiconductor industry as a whole. TSM does supply a lot to NVIDIA and AMD, and I think that we can see some additional growth here. I may make that move, although we saw a big move last week, so it may have already been run up. I really want to watch AMD just to see how they move based off this number. You can also see Honeywell, that new addition to the Dow. I think there's value there, as well as Walgreens. So I'd like to see Walgreens move as well. And again, I don't think I'm going to play it, but it's one that I want to watch. So there's a lot going on this week from a earnings perspective. This week I'm going to be covering some of the plays I plan on making, as well as what we're going to be looking at for the rest of the month, because there are earnings run-ups prior to this point in time. Something I may be looking at that's not on the screen here is Microsoft. And last time we had the big tech run up, it was right before earnings, about 2 weeks, and then they basically stayed flat on earnings. So I may be looking for a move like that just in case, something like the end of October. But we've got time. That's what I'm going to be looking at. So lots of moves this week, a lot of opportunity. Let me know if you're setting up any plays down below. And if you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe.